All right. It is 5:05 by my watch, so in the interest of everyone's time, I'm going to call this meeting to order officially and welcome everyone to our Neighborhood and Business Development hearing on the City of Syracuse draft 5-year consolidated plan for the years 2020 to 2024 and our first annual action plan for program year 46 for the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Thank you so much to everyone for taking time out of everyone's busy schedules and time probably with your families this evening to come and provide some comments to us. We really appreciate everyone's candid feedback on the plan and look forward to hearing all of your comments. I'll do a quick introduction into the plan and then really turn it over to all of you who have comments. I think as most people know, for those of you who've been involved in this process in the past, and I see a lot of familiar faces, so I know many of you have, this plan comes as a result of a lot of work with many of you in the room and many, many others who aren't in the room to get your input and feedback on programs that we've funded with our HUD funding in years past. And so we're really thankful to everyone for your input thus far. I think we're, again, looking forward to your feedback this evening, and there will be an additional opportunity in the coming weeks when Common Council holds their public hearing for additional feedback on the process. We are expecting to submit a draft plan to HUD as per the required timelines by March 17th, so that's the deadline that we're all shooting for. So we still have another month or so, about 4 weeks to finalize the plan with all of your input. So we have a copy of the consolidated plan in the back. We just ask that you don't remove that copy, but if you do want to take a look at it, you're free to do so. We also have copies of the proposed budget for the first action year in the plan. There are copies, I think, hopefully enough for everyone, so if you haven't taken one already, you can feel free to pick one up in the back of the room. For this consolidated plan, we have set out 3 very high-level goals as required by HUD. The first one is to promote and preserve safe, affordable, and stable housing. The second is to build family wealth and promote economic development, economic inclusion, sorry. And the third is to create more vibrant and resilient neighborhoods. And so really what we're setting out to do over the next 5 years is in alignment with those 3 goals, and therefore the proposed budget for the first annual action plan is really, again, in alignment and hopefully in furtherance of those 3 goals. In terms of the process for tonight's hearing, again, as in years past, we have comment cards that were placed right outside of the doors. If you would like to speak tonight and you haven't yet filled out a comment card, please do so. I'm going to be calling up everyone by name in the order that the cards were handed to us. If anyone has a prepared statement from an organization that you represent and you can provide a copy of that statement to our stenographer, that would help us in documenting these proceedings. Otherwise, we do have a stenographer who's taking very detailed notes, and so we'll have a thorough accounting of everyone's comments in this meeting. And with that, I think we will go ahead and get started. So the first person who would like to offer comments tonight is Sally Curran.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for your time. And it's always a pleasure to be here in the room with all of these really wonderful community partners. My name is Sally Curran. I'm the director of the Volunteer Lawyers Project of Onondaga County, VLP. Our mission is to provide access to justice to those in need through engaging the legal community in volunteer service. I'm here tonight to thank MBD for maintaining our allocation in year 46. VLP prevents eviction in our community by providing providing eviction defense every single day in Syracuse City Landlord-Tenant Court. And in 2019, we defended 873 tenants from eviction, 498 whom qualified for ESG due to having extremely low incomes. 71% of those that we represent avoid or delay eviction completely, and 32% owed their landlords less than demanded in the petitions when originally filed. We estimate that our services save taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars by avoiding homelessness and therefore avoiding the services that would be required. The passage of the Housing Stability and Tenant Protection Act in June 2019 brought about major changes in the practice and procedure of landlord-tenant court, and both our ESG-funded attorney and Hiscock Legal Aid Society's ESG-funded attorney jumped into action, immediately going in detail through that law and creating new litigation strategies to benefit our community. We developed new trainings, and both for our volunteers and Know Your Rights trainings in the community. And while these changes did reduce the number of cases temporarily, unfortunately, we've seen those numbers increase more recently again. And the threat of eviction continues for thousands of individuals and families every single year. So the need for free legal assistance in court continues to be pressing and urgent for low-income communities. We work hand in hand with our sister organization, Hiscock Legal Aid Society. Both of our agencies are present every single day in court, and our teamwork is critical. There are tenants that each of our organizations might not be able to represent due to a conflict or due to capacity in the number of cases that day. And so we really both need to be there in full force every single day. And so as such, we ask the MBD restore Hiscock Legal Aid Society to the full funding it received in year 45 while continuing our allocated amount. We see time and time again in court the way that tenants' rights are ignored or pushed aside when tenants don't have legal representation. Safe and affordable housing should be a fundamental right, and our attorneys ensure that tenants have the full protection of the law when it comes to their housing. It's critical, and I can't say this enough, it's critical that we reach the point that 100% of tenants who come to court have representation to defend their rights. We're not there, we're close, but if anything, more money should be provided for legal assistance, not less. And as you know, our services don't end at eviction defense. We meet unmet legal needs in family and elder law for veterans, LGBT individuals, immigration, legal issues, economic development for job seekers and entrepreneurs, and we make our services easily accessible throughout the community at clinics. All of these programs are aimed at stabilizing families and individuals and helping to lift our community out of poverty. So we thank you so much for your support. We look forward to continuing to be a partner with the city and with all of our community partners here. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally. And I should probably say for the record, because I don't think I introduced myself, for the record, I am Jen Tift. I'm the Deputy Commissioner at the Department of Neighborhood and Business Development. All right, our second speaker tonight will be Linda Curran from Hiscock Legal Aid.
Good evening, everyone, and I couldn't have said it better than Sally Curran, but I'll try to add a little bit more to that. I am Linda Curran, Executive Director of the Hiscock Legal Aid Society. We are first wanting to express our gratitude for the long relationship that the Hiscock Legal Aid Society has had with the City of Syracuse. Really a decades-long relationship, and we're so glad and proud that that will continue with this year's plan. The ESG funding makes it possible for our homeless prevention project to provide services to hundreds of people who would otherwise face homelessness each year. And over the years of our relationship with the city, thousands and thousands of clients have been served. The one point that I think is really important to note is that when we go and apply for county and state funding, they are very happy to know that the City of Syracuse supports our housing attorney effort. And because of the support that we get from the city through the ESG grant, the state and the county sort of match that, and it's allowed us to increase the amount of service we're able to provide, so that between, as Sally Curran said, VLP and Hiscock Legal Aid, we are getting very close to being able to serve anyone who comes to court down at Syracuse City Court and who faces homelessness. And to the extent that now we have 2 attorneys down in family court all day, every day, whenever court is in session. And we would not be able to do that with the ESG funding as was granted in year 46. So every little bit that can be put towards legal aids funding under the ESG grant, the state and the county are looking at that and wanting to really further those dollars to strengthen the community. In addition, because of our state and county funding, along with the ESG funding, this is our 2nd year that we've been able to devote social worker services to this effort to follow up with people who were in Syracuse City Court for whom we avoided eviction, but we don't know whether they were able to stay in housing afterwards. So we make contact with them at intervals after the court date to, 1, see if they're still in housing, and 2, offer other services, including social work services in our office, but also related legal services, including family law, immigration, income maintenance, so through workers' unemployment insurance defense, and a wide range of legal services to help stabilize them, not just with their housing, but all those other legal needs that they have to strengthen them as a member in the community. So again, we thank you, we ask you to continue, and every little bit helps, so if we want to put a little more in there, that would be great. And we thank you for your attention and consideration, and best wishes to you.
Thank you. Okay, our next speaker will be, and I apologize if I say your last name incorrectly, but Marwa El-Abeidi from Interfaith Works.
Good evening, everyone. So Marwa El-Abeidi from Interfaith Works. I am the Resettlement and Placement Manager, which I oversee the Refugee Resettlement Program. So we provide resettlement services to our newly arrived refugees, and we provide also post-resettlement services through the CDBG and ESG fund. So as an affiliate of Episcopal Migration Ministries, we were able to resettle in 2019 229 refugees from varieties of countries, which is Afghanistan, Burma, Central African Republic, Congo, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Iraq, Ivory Coast, Sudan, Somalia, Syria, and Ukraine. On a quarterly basis, we are assisting between 300 to 400 visitors through our program. Through the CDBG and ESG fund, we were able to provide services to 275 individuals from our refugees in avoiding eviction notice and homelessness. Also, through the collaboration with Centro, we were able to provide services to 81 refugees and training them how to ride the bus, and the training was including how to board, pay the fare, transfer, and request a stop. We also have a mental health and intensive case management program, which 147 individuals from our refugees were able to navigate the system of the medical through and get the mental health need. We also partnership with CNY Diaper Bank and Interfaith Works were able to provide a monthly services to 197 families with children under 4 years old for free diapers, toys, clothing, books, and hygiene items. In 2019, we were able to distribute 78,360 diapers to our refugees. We also have our employment service, and we were able to provide 144 job placements to our clients, and also 102 individuals were able to participate in our job readiness classes, and 34 individuals were able to be enrolled in our driving education course, which is provide a culture like the customs for our refugees, how to learn how to drive in the city. We also have a Path to Citizenship program, which is help our clients to preparation for their citizenships, and in 2019 we were able to provide that to 67 individuals. And through our program, we provided internship opportunities to 36 undergraduate and master level students from Syracuse University, Cazenovia College, Lehman College, Onondaga Community College, and Bryant and Stratton College. So I am here to thank you for your support that we have received to assist our client who experienced the crisis to their culture and language barriers. CDBG and ESG were really critical fund to our clients to maintain their housing stability, and our agency were able to meet or exceed the program target number every year to the high need for this program. We argue the Common Council and the city to contribute to continue the support for the surface resident in the city as our newcomers being like for our new Americans, when they are stable, it's really good for our city and it's contribute back to the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Andrea Wandersee from Nita.
Good evening. Thank you so much for giving me this time. And thank you for your continued support of Nita this year and our work on the North Side. The city's proposed funding will support our critical community services for housing, economic and business development, and community development work. As you know, the need is high in our diverse neighborhoods, as the majority of the households' income in our service area is 20% lower than the overall income level in the city of Syracuse, and 23% of the residents in our service area are new Americans. Housing stability is Nita's top priority, and by providing counseling services and education programs to residents, landlords, and homeowners in our neighborhoods, we help people obtain and maintain quality, affordable housing. Sorry, I almost just repeated myself. My apologies. So through housing counseling and landlord education, we'll ensure that families can find and maintain housing, and our staff real estate agents will support families who've completed the Home Headquarters Home Ownership Program to find homes on the North Side that meet their needs. Our second focus is technical assistance for small businesses to promote economic development on the North Side and increase family wealth. We'll be promoting resources related to workforce and business development and the revitalization of local real estate and physical infrastructure. In year 46, our goal is to almost double the number of families and businesses that we serve. We've already grown significantly in the past year in the number of people we've touched and worked with. We respectfully request that you consider our original proposal of $78,000 so we can provide adequate health insurance benefits to our staff. We appreciate your advocacy and your support of our work, and thank you in advance for your consideration.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Sharon Sherman from the Greater Syracuse Tenants Network.
Thank you. I'm Sharon Sherman from the Executive Director of the Greater Syracuse Tenants Network. We are appreciative that we maintained our funding level from last year, but we're still striving to return to the levels we received under the previous administration. We are providing more services than ever with reduced staff salary to do that. Our program is harder to judge in some ways because the data we count are the number of tenants who come to tenant meetings, and In fact, those tenants who attend a meeting represent the total population in the building, and the impact is much greater. However, this year, our goal was 150 unduplicated individuals, and at the end of third quarter, we were at 262. A lot of this has to do with crisis. We recently went through major crisis at McCarthy Manor, where the management was improperly sending out lease agreements that gave rent raises and weren't proper under the law. And now again, they sent tenants letters saying they owed odd amounts of money, which again were not proper under the law. We work very closely with Legal Services of Central New York, who provides us support as they're specialized in subsidized housing. We also are working with the city on Skyline Apartments, which is probably one of the most difficult situations. We're working with the police, and we appreciate the mayor's office and NBD, the police, who have all tried to meet with the owner management and get some progress. We feel that we have achieved some progress in the basic building conditions. The elevators and hot water are better than they were, and that's because of codes and Corporation Council cracking down. The police are trying the best they can to get the management to live up to their responsibilities. Having a tenants association since last May provides the tenants with a voice. We've met several times with the owner and the management structure, and just giving them some hope of stability. The other partner we've worked with is Fair Housing down there. They have been tremendous working together. They have gotten the building to put in accessible doors, although there are problems with those doors. And very significantly, any tenant who is unable to walk out to the dumpster in the parking lot now has a key to a trash room in the basement. These are significant achievements because there is a large number of disabled individuals there, many of them placed through Arise, which has a program to subsidize people with disabilities, as well as Helio Health, Chadwick House, a number of agencies. So that's a major achievement. At several of the buildings, such as Clinton Plaza, we work with the eviction prevention program of Catholic Charities. We do everything we can to try to promote getting the tenants to seek their assistance. We think this is one of the most positive programs the city Innovative has had, and we're now working with the Conifer properties where the program has started. I think both the city and our agency would like to get back at Parkside Commons. In addition to those matters, we provide training for landlords, we provide training for human service workers in tenant rights, and many, many other things. So we're hoping that we would get some increase to bring us back again. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Kiki White from the Women's Opportunities Center.
Good evening. My name is Mary Kiki White. I'm with the Women's Opportunity Center. I'm the director of the programs. I would like to thank the staff of the City of Syracuse Department of Neighborhood and Business Development for holding this public hearing on the from the community regarding the 5-year consolidated plan and the first-year action plan. The WOC is thrilled to have been included in the action plan for the coming year starting May 1 of 2020. The WOC wishes to give its support for the 5-year consolidated plan and welcomes the first-year annual action plan in its entirety. These plans allow the city and the Department of Neighborhood and Business Development to chart a structured and vibrant course for the coming years. We are excited to be a part of that journey. The CDBG is a critical funding opportunity for community agencies like the WOC that serves individuals in the Syracuse area. The WOC, as part of its Year 46 funding request, expressly requested funding to work with some of the most needy and difficult to serve members of this community. Why would we do that? Why would an agency specifically set out to take on a segment of the area that has been historically too difficult for other agencies to find success with? Well, it's because we know that we can make a difference in their lives. It may take longer to reach the successes that every agency hopes to get to with our clients, but we are a patient group of professionals who have served our target populations for over 35 years. The WOC typically serves mostly women, but we do have some guys in the program that are living in poverty and seek to reach economic stability and self-sufficiency. To reach this goal, the WOC helps not only to teach computer and job readiness skills to be successful in finding employment, but we help our participants to break down the barriers in their lives so that they will be able to reach their stated goal. We work closely with the participant to ensure that they select their goal, and we facilitate the steps that make that goal a reality. The WOC will also continue to work with individuals as they move up their employment path. One of the most important parts of our success in meeting participant needs is by having an extensive partner agency pool that we can rely on to refer our participants. This pool includes agencies and companies that work in the areas of criminal justice, food and clothing supports, health care and mental health, housing, financial literacy, child elder care, legal issue abatement, and domestic violence assistance. This network is critical to removing barriers that can lead an individual down a path that will help them break the cycle of poverty. Since the start of Year 43, the WOC has used CDBG funding to deliver a targeted program called Journey to Success. This program serves predominantly women living in generational or situational poverty, referred by many agencies, including Onondaga County's Jobs Plus, who are always ready to provide us individuals to participate in our program. We work on life skills, computer skills, job readiness, and some special skill development areas. I'll just cut to the chase here. We are always looking to develop other funding options, including the CDBG, to continue and enhance the work that we've already been providing. We listen to the input of our class participants to make each class a growing experience, not only for the participants, but also for us, the program, and our staff as well. We thank you again, and we look forward to a vibrant Year 46.
Great, thank you. All right, our next speaker will be Richpachowski with the Syracuse United Neighbors.
Richpachowski, Executive Director, Syracuse United Neighbors, an organization that's been around since 1977, membership organization active on the south, southwest, near west side, and Skunk City neighborhoods. I'm not here to talk about getting any funding for SUN. I'm here to about our relationship with Home Headquarters. It's been going on for quite a number of years. There are some key programs in this budget that residents on the south and near west side utilize in the coming year. That of the urgent care program. It's a program that funds homeowners if they're being forced out of their house. I've seen broken sewer lines, bad leaks in the roof, etc., that force people out, and we work with people in gathering their application, their documents, and turn them over to Home Headquarters. You know, that's a big program that's not funded enough. $1,450,000 doesn't cut it. Then there's the SHARP program, that provides small mini grants up to $1,500. And again, it's only funded at $250,000. That helps out people that have real problems with their porches. They've got broken windows and doors, and other minor repairs in their house. And another program is the Down Payment Assistance Program to assist first-time homeowners in getting miniature grants to, secure a new home for their family. Again, that's $250,000. These programs are badly needed, underfunded, and we're not doing anything to increase the funding level year in, year out. I don't know. I talked to Ken Tousley last week. 1,424 vacant houses on the neighborhoods around the city. Most of them are on the south and near west side neighborhoods. Not enough is being done except to throw them to land bank, and then they just sit, like the one I went down on Matson Ave, because the elderly neighbor complained that the window and a couple windows were open, trash in the yard, day in and day out. But I'm here pretty angry, but I doubt my friend Sharon Owens is going to hear my cry. We hear the volunteer lawyers in Hiscock talk about how they prevent people from being evicted. All they do, the hundreds and thousands of them, year in, year out. Well, I get emails from this building about what goes on in housing court, the city, and state Supreme Court. It's a crime, Sharon, that you don't see how very few property owners, landlords are being hauled into court. Barely see 20 on a page. On the housing court side, next month, half of that list will show up, and the other half will show up 2 months from now. But Sharon, I want you to hear how underutilized housing court, state Supreme Court, because they're out-of-towners, and city court, don't have the landlords that are being hauled in because their properties, some of them are vacant, just sit there year after year after year. My good friend Pat Hogan called me up and says, what's going on with 401 South Geddes, corner of Otisco? I says, hey, Pat, back in July of 2013, we hauled the owner in under nuisance abatement and we shut it down for a year, and he never opened it up or fixed it up, and then the deterioration just goes on and on and on, because the city of Syracuse, especially Sharon Owens, doesn't do, and I ain't going to say the four-letter word. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Shannon Cunningham from Covenant Housing.
Hello. I'm Shannon Cunningham, Program and Fiscal Coordinator for Covenant Housing Corporation of Central New York. On behalf of our Board of Directors and staff, we would like to thank the City of Syracuse, Department of Neighborhood and Business Development for their continued operating support. Because of the support in 2019, we were able to continue to maintain and manage 40 units of safe, affordable rental housing for low and very low income people with special needs. We were able to develop a new single-family special needs rental project, which was acquired from the land bank. We provided assistive technology and environmental modification projects to 15 families with special needs. Administrative support also allowed Covenant Housing to leverage $300,000 in state funding, and it allowed our agency to continue staffing a full-time property rehab specialist. We're very thankful for all of this assistance, and we look forward to continuing in program year 46 with all the help from NBD. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Carrie Quaglia from Home Headquarters.
Thank you. Carrie Quaglia, CEO of Home Headquarters. And we're very grateful to Neighborhood and Business Development for having us in the plan again this year, and you held our funding at the same level, and we appreciate that. And I thought that I would talk a little bit about the programs, but I'd have to say that Richpachowski did steal my thunder just a little bit. But to start with, the home improvement program that we call Urgent Care. And I do agree with Rich. It sounds like a formidable amount of money, particularly when you look at the percentage of the overall budget, 28 or 29%. But we have deployed all of those funds for needed repairs like roof, furnace, and all kinds of emergencies and critical repairs. We have about $600,000 worth of cases on a waiting list, and we didn't just rely on the money that Neighborhood and Business Development provided. We were successful in receiving a $1 million grant for home improvement assistance from the state of New York. We've deployed all of that, and we also secured about $500,000 from area lenders, and we've deployed all of that. All this goes to say that there's just an incredible demand for owner-occupied rehabilitation, which I'm sure you know. The SHARP program helps us maybe take care of a small problem before it becomes a big problem. We did have 3 neighborhood partners here with Syracuse United Neighbors, as Rich said, refers a lot of clients, as does Nita, and also Jubilee Holmes. And I think we had all those funds deployed maybe within a month of opening up the program. The closing cost assistance program is great in that it assists first-time home buyers, and we were able to assist more than 50 first-time home buyers, and that leveraged about $4 million of private financing for people buying their first home in the city, which is a great thing. And then finally, the homeownership counseling, which is not just pre-purchase counseling, but also post-purchase, helping people with foreclosure intervention, not just on mortgage foreclosure, but also on tax foreclosure issues. So again, we appreciate your support, and thanks very much.
Thank you. Okay, this is my final card, so if anyone in the, thank you. Yeah, if anyone has a card, please bring it up, or if you would like to speak and you haven't filled out a card yet, please do so. Our next speaker, and I apologize if I mispronounce this name, is Tilai Panett. All right. OnPoint for College.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Tilai Panett, and I am the co-director of programs at OnPoint for College. And I came to say thank you for supporting OnPoint for College in program year 45. We also appreciate being included in the action plan for program year 46. OnPoint for College has been providing college and training support services to the most underserved, vulnerable students in our community for over 20 years. OnPoint starts with the college application process and continues with personalized support through college internships and first jobs. Most of our students are first-generation college students. Your support of career services at OnPoint for College will continue to help lower-income students to prepare for professional positions as they engage in and complete their studies. Students are preparing for jobs that will lift them out of poverty. Over the past year, Career Services has assisted 771 students with developing soft skills and attaining pre-professional experience. Students participate in one-on-one advising sessions, networking events, career exploration, mentoring and empowerment events, resume writing sessions, and support obtaining internships and post-graduation employment. With your support, Career Services will actively engage at least 200 students from the targeted census tracts. Students may receive one-on-one services, one or more services, or participate in one or more events over the course of the year as they progress toward their college and career goals. Students will develop at least 2 soft skills and will attain pre-professional experience to advance their career goals. We appreciate your support of OnPoint for College Career Services, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Walt Dixie with Jubilee Holmes.
I wasn't planning on speaking, but Rich, he inspired me. First, I want to thank you for the continued funding we received, and we know this is challenging times. And at the end of the day, even Jubilee Holmes has recognized that we can't rely just on CBG funding. And as you know, Jen, from our supermarket, we're getting resources from that, but also thinking out of the box to be a collaborative partnership with the city. And the economic development we're doing, we're just amazed about the 7 or 8 businesses that are being dealt with, coming online eventually in the next 2 years on South Ave. And your leadership with Sharon Owens, Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens, and your folks been collaborating, working with us, amazing. But one of the things at the Land Bank that we're working really well with them, just in terms of the funding we receive, is that what we're doing, we're calling it change. For our community to change, we have to change ourselves. So we have a lobbyist that's pro bono, that is coordinating a meeting with the governor's office, our state and Senate leadership, and our local delegation, so that we want to purchase 70 lots from the Land Bank and redevelop them in the city south side, 2-family houses, so folks with a lower income can own and rent at the same time. That's how you build back your neighborhood. You put them on the tax roll, and at the same time asking them to pay for the demolition. We've been blessed with the Senator Hasty in the past, and if we all in our own corners start advocating, because Lord knows the state spends a lot of money on big projects, and then reinvest some of this money in the local level. At the same time, you look at the city of Syracuse and the leadership of our mayor is the work with Blueprint 15, the leadership with Deputy Sharon Owens on the AEI, making sure that neighborhood organizations that are trying to do great work are being advocates. So the city may not can fund everything, but its leadership can collaborate with other partnerships to make our job a lot easier. I just want to continue to commend you folks for the great work you do today. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. That was my last card, so one last call for anyone else who wishes to speak.
I wanted to publicly apologize for just getting here. Stephanie Pasquale and I were meeting with the AG's office, trying to get some money and to get some resources for housing. Our morning meeting was scheduled to just before this meeting, so I said I have to talk to the AG's office. So thank you for all coming tonight.
Thank you, Sharon. Okay, with that, I'd like to thank everyone again for your time tonight. Really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules to be here, and we do truly appreciate these comments. We'll be obviously reviewing the transcripts from this evening collectively together, and certainly looking forward to more comments that might come as the council convenes its public hearing in a couple of weeks. And so if anyone has any other questions or comments that you'd like to submit to MBD after the meeting, you can certainly feel free to do so. And have a really great evening. Hope you all have a safe trip home. Thank you.